The Time Tracker app is designed to know where and how can your activities be revised and your time can be used effectively. In the Time Tracker template, you're supposed to input your activities and the amount of time you have spent on them. Statistical data will be provided on the basis of that, which will help your mentors to take further action. The benefits for working professional are identifying if you need changes in your time management to optimize results, helping you get clarity on goals and creating new ones if needed, identifying what creates positive energy which can be unleashed for you to maintain your work-life balance. The benefits for university students program are identifying if you need changes in your time management to optimize results, helping you identify and work on positive energy creators in your schedule, events, and people as well. Identifying areas for productivity, success, and happiness. The benefits for school students are identifying if you need changes in your time management to optimize results, helping you get clarity on goals and creating new ones if needed, helping you drive the areas of right association, acts, and creating right energy for your preparation, as well as eliminate areas where you can save time and be more productive in your work schedule.
Hi, Granny.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Hi. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good as well. Okay, let's not waste time. I'll start this session. But before starting it, I would just like to introduce MentorMitr to you. What is MentorMitr? And to our audience, MentorMitr is our organization where we guide individuals at what journey they are and help them take their journey ahead from there. And whatever path they are, we guide them to move ahead and be successful. So that's all about MentorMitr. So welcome everyone. I would like to introduce you first before everything. So for today we have Dhwani with us. She's a life coach teacher, AI facilitator, drawing and handwriting analyst, ESP practitioner, and she's a training to be a psychologist. You're on a mission to help people overcome their self-doubt so that they can live up to their potential fearlessly. You share your learnings from everyday experiences, and your blogs and podcasts have a deep impact on others. Did I miss something or was I fine?
You were fine. You covered everything. Thank you. Thank you for this introduction.
Would like to add on?
Whatever work I do, I just want to help people feel better, manage their emotions better, and that is how I choose my area of work, whatever I do. This is what I want to help people with.
Oh, great. Okay, so as we all know that today's topic of discussion is how one should aim to achieve a proper balance between their work life and their priority, their personal life. So I would like to throw upon a few questions which I'm sure is going to be in everyone's mind, and you can help us get some clarity on that. So my first question is, this generation has seen an intense focus on work-life balance. Why is that the case? Why do we only have this problem? I mean, I haven't heard my dad doing that or my mom for that matter doing that, but why has it become such a crucial thing for us?
Okay. So what I have observed, talking about people at my house, when my parents used to work, full time, they did not have as much workload as we have today. Of course, they worked hard, but they spent time equally with the family. And also the technological advancement then was not that much. Now today, we are expected to finish our work, complete deadlines, even when we are at home. We are expected to answer to emails. We have our laptops, our phones at home. So through that, we have to send important documents to people and, as I said, email, get in touch with people and keep doing it. So earlier they had this luxury maybe to come home and not be in touch with the people they worked with because they did not have that technology. If they have to send an email, they had to be in their office to send that email. But today you can send an email from everywhere. So it becomes really difficult to manage your time. Now, when you are having dinner with your family, but you get a message from your boss that you have to send this email. Now, how will you deal with that situation? So this question has become very important for us, that how do we manage our work life and our personal life? How do we strike that balance? So this is what I think. The advancement in technology is the reason for that, because now we are easily available to everyone globally.
Okay, yeah, I do agree, especially COVID. I mean, it sounds like, like a soldier, you're also never off duty. So, yeah.
Yes.
From my perspective about human life is it has two aspects. For some of you who are grown up enough to have babies and children of your own, or some of you who are young enough to have parents of your own and still around. I lost my mother a few years back. I too still have a father who's 90 plus, though lives with my elder brother. But anyways, if you have somebody younger or somebody elder whom you madly love, for the younger ones, what would you be suggesting to them? Beta khush raho. You failed in the exam, you couldn't make it through the final stages, you tripped on the very first step. The person who really, really loves and cares for you more than his own life or her own life would always tell you, beta khush raho. Why? Because the things are not in favor of you. But what can you still choose to be is happy. And that's the choice.
Very favorite line that I always, love to talk about, and something that I love to use on myself is also that, there is nothing that can't be worked on, right? Everything in this world, almost everything, right? Almost everything is something that can be worked on, could be, developed, right? Could be improved. We as human beings have such amazing capabilities and capacity that once we identify a certain thing, we can definitely try to improve on the same.
If you're really, if it is paining you, probably it's not your strength area, it's a weak area, right? If maths pain you, probably maths is not your strength area. If you love talking with people, maybe communication is your strength area. So some of these things, you will know it yourself. Further, apart from that, do ask your friends. Please ask your friends, what do you think I'm really good at? And they will tell you, rattle down those 3-4 things that you're really good at. Ask your parents. And sometimes parents also tell, मेरा बेटा इसमें से बहुत अच्छा है, मेरा बेटा मैथ्स में अच्छा है, मेरा बेटा दोस्तों के साथ बहुत अच्छी तरह से रहता है. They keep telling these things oftenly without you noticing it. So whatever they repeatedly tell about you, good about you, is your strength area, right? So ask your teachers. Teachers observe you. They see your scores, they see your habits, they see your behaviors. Based on that, they will tell you what you're really good at. Second thing,
what are the changes that's happened? Things that are looking very different is work from home may continue to be a way of life, because organizations have realized, people have realized that nothing, there are lots of things that can be done as well from home and possibly better. And those professions will perhaps continue to enjoy the benefit of working from home, if I might call that. Education and training have already gone digital, but there's a lot of scope of improvement. And with that, there would be a lot of training of the trainers that will come into play. We perhaps will not have to travel so much for work, because earlier we used to just take a flight for a 1-hour meeting to Chennai, or for some training session to attend in Dubai. And that's definitely
the way I look at analyzing work, or an analogy to work, is more to do with your mind, where you do your all logical things, your aspirations, everything is logical. And life is all.
The message here is, we all have our starting points, we have our journeys, and we have our destinations. So today it might look like we're not headed anywhere, but in the end, it will all work out. So there's no need to be disheartened at all. And it is absolutely fine to be an average. The second part of the story goes where it comes about finding your own mojo. While I was an average student, I ensured just one thing. I kept my desire to learn and keep that fire inside of me ignited. Whether it was traveling, meeting new people, or even exploring new cultures, it was all about upskilling myself for me. Although while learning, I didn't really know where that was actually heading to. But then if I were to look back and think and connect the dots, I have the job that I have today only because of the skills and knowledge that I gained.
The Time Tracker app is designed to know where and how can your activities be revised and your time can be used effectively. In the Time Tracker template, you're supposed to input your activities and the amount of time you have spent on them. Statistical data will be provided on the basis of that, which will help your mentors to take further action. The benefits for working professional are identifying if you need changes in your time management to optimize results, helping you get clarity on goals and creating new ones if needed, identifying what creates positive energy which can be unleashed for you to maintain your work-life balance. The benefits for university students program are identifying if you need changes in your time management to optimize results, helping you identify and work on positive energy creators in your schedule, events, and people as well. Identifying areas for productivity, success, and happiness. The benefits for school students are identifying if you need changes in your time management to optimize results, helping you get clarity on goals and creating new ones if needed, helping you drive the areas of right association, acts, and creating right energy for your preparation, as well as eliminate areas where you can save time and be more productive in your work schedule.
Hi, Dhwani.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Hi, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good as well. Okay, let's not waste time. I'll start this session. But before starting it, I would just like to introduce MentorMitr to you. What is MentorMitr? And to our audience, MentorMitr is our organization where we guide individuals at what journey they are and help them take their journey ahead from mission to help people overcome their self-doubt so that they can live up to their potential fearlessly. You share your learnings from everyday experiences, and your blogs and podcasts have a deep impact on others. Did I miss something or was I fine?
You were fine. You covered everything. Thank you. Thank you for this
Something you would like
introduction.
to add on?
Whatever work I do, I just want to help people feel better, manage their emotions better. And that is how I choose my area of work, whatever I do. This is what I want to help people with.
Oh, great. Okay, so as we all know that today's topic of discussion is how one should aim to achieve a proper balance between their work life and their priority, their personal life. So I would like to throw upon a few questions which I'm sure is going to be in everyone's mind, and you can help us get some clarity on that. So my first question is, this generation has seen an intense focus on work-life balance. Why is that the case? Why do we only have this problem? I mean, I haven't heard my dad doing that or my mom for that matter doing that, but why has it become such a crucial thing for us?
Okay. So what I have observed, talking about people at my house, when my parents used to work, full time, they did not have as much workload as we have today. Of course, they worked hard, but they spent time equally with the family. And also the technological advancement then was not that much. Now today, we are expected to finish our work, complete deadlines, even when we are at home. We are expected to answer to emails. We have our laptops, our phones at home. So through that, we have to send important documents to people, and as I said, email, get in touch with people, and keep doing it. So earlier they had this luxury maybe to come home and not be in touch with the people they worked with, because they did not have that technology. If they have to send an email, they had to be in their office to send that email. But today you can send an email from everywhere. So it becomes really difficult to manage your time. Now, when you are having dinner with your family, but you get a message from your boss that you have to send this email. Now, how will you deal with that situation? So this question has become very important for us, that how do we manage our work life and our personal life? How do we strike that balance? So this is what I think. The advancement in technology is the reason for that, because now we are easily available to everyone globally.
Okay, yeah, I do agree, especially COVID. I mean, it sounds like, like a soldier, you're also never off duty. So, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Swasti, whenever you want to. Swasti, a simple question, please.
Just a second, ma'am. We are presenting the PPT.
Will you be recording it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
The steps to avail the e-certificate are as follows. Attend a complete webinar. When you see thank you on the screen, there will appear a link to a Google attendance box in the chat box. Click to mark your attendance and get the feedback questionnaire email. Fill the questionnaire you get and fill the details. Follow our page, whether you did or not. It will also be mentioned in the questionnaire. If you replied in the affirmative and actually did follow our page, you will get the e-certificate. And if you did not, you will not get the e-certificate. If all the above stated steps are all followed, automatically an e-certificate will be issued online to you. Mentor, please go back to the MentorMitr slide. The next one. The next one. MentorMitr is a mentoring organization. Our aim is to guide individuals wherever they are in their journey of career development and help them learn life skills to manage complex situations while enhancing their career. Our involvement helps students to set the right goals and enables them to define and manage their priorities as well as enhance their EQ. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar on managing anxiety during pandemic. The session was led by established professional Dr. Ashima and Ms. Vishali. Please feel free to leave your questions in the chat box and we will try to answer them. We have Dr. Ashima Puri, a dynamic individual with 27 years of quality experience in training, teaching, psychiatric counseling, and psychotherapy. She has experience in teaching various courses, organizational development and change, training and development, leadership and supervision, organizational behavior, critical thinking, group dynamics, mindful leadership, happiness, positive psychology to BBA and MBA students. She adept in utilizing expertise of human relationships for designing workshops and training programs like personality development, communication of executive, stress management. Next slide, please. Proven expertise in conduction of relaxation training, meditation, and creative visualization. She demonstrated skills in undertaking psychotherapy for a broad range of mental health issues, including depression, anxiety, phobias, marital counseling, adolescent and student counseling, relationship issues, and stress management through life skills training. She is an effective communicator with strong logical problem solving and organizational abilities. Thank you so much for coming in here, ma'am. You can take over and start with the session.
All right. Thank you for having me over, Swasti. I'm really honored, and I wish to invite and thank all my listeners. And I hope they can benefit from this simple aspect about management of anxiety during the pandemic. The pandemic has become a very, very serious problem, which is being faced by everybody. And today, can you see me, Swasti?
Yes, ma'am, definitely.
Yeah. All right. So what is happening is though we've had a year of COVID, but these days it's a different situation. The kind of helplessness that we are feeling right now is so very different, and everybody is feeling in every house there is some form or the other of COVID happening, and also there are deaths. So there is a lot which is going on, and anxiety which is coming is quite normal. So the first thing I want everyone to understand, that this anxiety because of COVID and because of this pandemic, because of the lockdown that we are in, is a situational activity, but it is true. So there is nothing wrong with anybody. If you're feeling anxiety, it's absolutely normal. Don't be scared. Definitely, there is a lot which you can do and overcome this anxiety. Actually, there's a COVID anxiety scale which has been given in this, you can Google it. It is an American scale. It tells you 5 important aspects about the symptoms of anxiety. And that is how anxiety and COVID are different. As you all know, COVID symptoms are very different. You get fever, yes, you get a throat problem and cold with that. And then later, definitely after a few days, oxygen becomes a real problem. So looking at it, people are getting very scared. So the anxiety is really bringing down your immune system. And that is one thing I want you all to understand and work on, that this is a fear which is really gripping us. And anxiety is like building up and making the COVID worse. There are 5 aspects of the COVID anxiety scale. The first is, when you're hearing anything about the COVID aspect, it brings in nervousness. The second is your sleep is really disturbed. The third is your eating pattern is also really disturbed. Fourth is when you're watching television, or if you have somebody, you're seeing somebody with COVID, then you're getting very, very anxious about it. What if I get through? And the main is that with this COVID anxiety, you're only thinking about yourself, and it will makes it even more difficult. Now, let me tell you a few symptoms, and this COVID anxiety scale can be actually taken care by in the, it is a scale which you can go through it on your own self. So the main aspect is, yes, there are physical symptoms of anxiety, and the physical symptoms of anxiety are basically restlessness, a, a stronger heartbeat, you might be sweating. Now, they are different from corona symptoms. In coronavirus, you are getting fever. You're getting, yes, a little bit of heartbeat, but like, please do understand that the symptoms of the anxiety and of corona are very different, and they should not be confused. Even when we are talking to somebody, when we are listening to somebody about it, then we have to understand that there is a difference in the symptoms. So the difference is that coronavirus, yes, it can be tested. You need to get a test done immediately and see whether it is corona or not. But also, don't get anxious, because if you are getting anxious, then your symptoms will be different. Somebody in the house might have it, it's all right, but and you have to look after them. You have to not only look after others, but you have to look after yourself. Now this is a situation which is going from house to house, from person to person, and what I want to tell you is that you can bounce back. You can come back and you can flow through the whole situation much more easily if you're calmer, if you're more collected, if you understand your symptoms, and if you don't get hyper about it. So anxiety is something which is also very normal. And if you are having anxiety about coronavirus, stop listening to television, stop talking to friends about it, do some other activity, make yourself available in, it can be dance or music, divert yourself, because otherwise your decision making will be affected. Not only decision making is affected, you're also very, your problem solving activity becomes affected. And what I really want to tell you is that, like, there are certain aspects about self care which you can do and come out of this whole situation. The first is no self criticism. If you're having any kind of a situation and if you're feeling any kind of symptoms, don't worry. It's absolutely all right. It does happen. It can happen to you, me, or anybody. There is nothing wrong with you. This anxiety is normal. This anxiety is because of a certain situation, and this anxiety can be dealt with, and you can come out of it. Now, the second most important aspect is affirmations. Now, why are we stressing so much on affirmations? Affirmations are something which help us to come out of things. Something simple like, have 3 aspects of gratitude in the morning. Just be thankful for whatever you you have, so that like you see the solutions in the problems. The problems will always be there, but your focus should be on positivity, on solutions. And then those affirmations, the first, please note it down, write it down if you want to, that I am strong and healthy. Now, here, because it is very important to say that every day and in every way, I'm getting better, better, and better. The universe will help me. My energy system is very strong. Now, why are we talking about affirmations is because one simple thing I want to tell you, that you have a healing potential which will take you out of any kind of a problem or any kind of a situation. And uh, say whenever there is a simple cut in your body, you just might put some Dettol and then the cut heals on its own. So please understand that you have a very strong healing potential. And the biggest chemical factory, even if there is no oxygen available anywhere, you know where the biggest chemical factory is? The biggest chemical factory is in your brain. Be calm, breathe properly. Breath is very important because our life starts with breathing and our end also comes with breathing. You all are young children and you all are youngsters. So breathing is something that you can start and you can, and here what I want to tell you is abdominal breathing. Take in a full breath from your nose and take it down to your stomach or diaphragm, and then exhale. And when you're exhaling, just tell yourself to relax. This is something you need to do on a regular basis. It takes 5 minutes. And first thing in the morning, when you're going to brush your teeth, do your abdominal breathing exercise. This you can repeat 3 times in the day. Once in the morning, once before lunch, and then before dinner. So every time, just do it 20 times. Inhale and take the breath right up till your stomach and blow your stomach out. And then when you exhale, tell yourself relax. So 20 times of abdominal breathing is very recommended, and it will really help you because all that we are hearing from all over is lack of oxygen. People are going for concentrators, people are going for oxygen, cylinders, but you are young people, and also the biggest chemical factory is your brain. It will produce oxygen. Then the second thing, definitely exercise. Exercise is very important for anxiety. Now, exercise means that, yes, whatever you enjoy, whether it is running, whether like nowadays, I know you cannot go out of your house. Maybe in the lockdown, you have to exercise. There are lots of Google apps which are applicable and which can be used. But 40 minutes of exercise, minimum 4 times a week, is recommended. And what happens is when we are exercising, we are pumping in adrenaline. When we are pumping in adrenaline, then oxytocin is already coming into our body. So we are creating those hormones which will give us a stronger immunity. That is why exercise is very important. Give yourself 40 minutes of exercise. If you're doing yoga, great. Pranayam, great. Otherwise, go into Google Map, do cardiac exercises, make yourself, breathe more heavily. And please understand and remember that all the hormones and chemicals can be produced within your body. Now, the next thing which I'm going to tell you is something really funny, but I want all of you to look into it, and that is create a worry time. And when I say create a worry time, yes, whenever there is a worry, at that moment, tell yourself, stop. I will think of it in my worry time. Let your worry, write it right now. That worry time has to be from 9 to 9:30 in the morning or from 12 to 12:30 in the morning. That is your choice. But I want you to think about it and make yourself, whenever that worry is coming on a daily basis about pandemic, about corona, about somebody not feeling well, about helplessness, about what will happen to the others, tell yourself, no, I will think of it in the worry time. I am important. I need to look after myself, and I'm going to bounce back. I'm going to come back out of it. So create a worry time, and that will help you. And then at that time we will make into a worry decision tree, that whatever it is, whatever I'm worried about, because what is anxiety? Anxiety is all negative feelings when they come up and I cannot cope with that. And all those negative feelings are there, definitely, but I have to let them come and go. Only when I hold on to it, I start reflecting and I get into a negative spiral, that what if it happens to me? What if I can't do something? So I'm not looking at any positivity. I'm looking at only problems. And definitely problems do come, but with problem solutions are there. And if you are not being able to find any solutions, you can just, contact either Swasti or contact me or contact anybody else. Start talking, divert, because there are times when you're fine also. So these are very simple aspects. Otherwise, yes, meditation is very good. If anybody is into meditation, great. And if you're not, that is another technique which you can learn. Or you can also get into your aspects of, looking into, so many apps are there. So what I want to assure you is that you can bounce back. And bouncing back is the main aspect, because anxiety will come and anxiety is normal. And this anxiety, which is happening because of that helplessness that you're feeling, if you cannot find a solution, talk to somebody and they will be able to guide you, and they will be able to tell you what the real solution is, and get you out of it. So there is nothing which is going to really bother you as such and hold on to you, because there are many aspects where we can easily work. And mindfulness, if you're listening to me right now, what I really want to say is that now, here and now, there is no problem. We are talking, we are listening. Please take a pen and pencil with you, take down all the notes, take down, reflect back on them. Tell yourself, I'm strong. The universe is here to help me. I can get out of any problem that I'm facing. Don't think that it's a dead end. There is always hope, and there is always a way to get out of it. But you have to be strong enough to look into it and to see that. And if you can't, please take help. There is no problem in taking help. And also, like I said, the first thing, there is no problem in any kind of a thing. There is nothing mentally wrong with you. The first aspect, I feel that why am I feeling anxiety? Like, I've had 60-year-olds also who just feel anxiety because somebody, like, they hear about it or something, which is, and it's happening to them now. All these years, they've been fine. So that's what exactly I'm trying to tell you, that this is a situation. It is a helpless situation at certain times, because the second wave of COVID is something which is attacking each and every person and influencing every household. But yes, we will definitely come out of it. And now we've started getting a lot of help. And otherwise, you can take down my number, Swasti. Please give my number. And Swasti, you can also, if there is any problem, just write it down. You don't have to live with it. We are there to help you solve anything. Anxiety is something which we call the cold of the mind. So it is the most basic aspect. But because of this pandemic, a lot of people are facing it, and a lot of people want to, get out of it also. So here, I'd really like to tell you all that, always feel strong about it, and you will bounce back. And thank you very much. If there are any questions, you're most welcome to ask me. All right, Swasti.
Thank you so much, ma'am. They were such valuable tips. And we do have questions which we're going to take in the end. So now we are going to present our courses. So these are some summarization of courses presented by MentorMitr. The first course from programs for working professional are a Compass Pro course, which we provide for 1 month. Then there is a Habit Forming Pro course, which is provided for 3 months. Then there are programs for school students, which have Ensure Optimizer course for 12 months. There is a Habit Formation course, which is for 3 months. Then there is a Compass course for 1 month. There is also some programs for university students, which include a Habit Formation course, which is for 3 months, a Compass course for 1 month. Programs for working professional. MentorMitr's spirit is to engage with working people and help them improve their current performance, enhance motivational level, help them plan their short-term goals and long-term goals, and enhance their EQ. And we help them to have better control over work-life balance and eventually success. So what exactly we do is we provide in the 1 month of engagement counseling session, which includes SWOT analysis and personality assessment. So this test is entirely research-based and is used across the world and have been developed by experts with many years of experience and practice. Then an analytical report is given, after the test is done, we send you an assessment report, which is also prepared by experts, which measures your overall performance and behavior patterns. The third is structured customized counseling. In the counseling session, experts will coach you on your basic needs and will help you to keep the track of your performance. There are different templates which are customized according to your needs and your present situations, which will help you to map your career. Then there is extremely important part of the template, which is the time tracker. And we would also like to show one video of what time tracker is. So just a second. Sneha, you can, Krisha, please end the PPT. Sneha, you can present the time tracker video.
The Time Tracker app is designed to know where and how can your activities be revised and your time can be used effectively. In the Time Tracker template, you're supposed to input your activities and the amount of time you have spent on them. Statistical data will be provided on the basis of that, which will help your mentors to take further action. The benefits for working professional are identifying if you need changes in your time management to optimize results, helping you get clarity on goals and creating new ones if needed, identifying what creates positive energy which can be unleashed for you to maintain your work-life balance. The benefits for university students program are identifying if you need changes in your time management to optimize results, helping you identify and work on positive energy creators in your schedule, events, and people as well. Identifying areas for productivity, success, and happiness. The benefits for school students are identifying if you need changes in your time management to optimize results, helping you get clarity on goals and creating new ones if needed, helping you drive the areas of right association, acts, and creating right energy for your preparation, as well as eliminate areas where you can save time and be more productive in your work schedule.
So I'm sure you must got an idea that how this template will help you. There are similar templates like Time Tracker, which would be enormously helping you in certain aspects. Then there is a Setup Self-Awareness program, which basically helps you with self-control, which is essential part of the life. Then there are flexible counseling sessions. This is the extremely unique feature because in this we provide you with 2 structured sessions for 1 hour each, and there are some 8 short 15-minute sessions, which are some counseling sessions for your course correction, motivation, and for solving negative feelings and situations. Then there are some more features like free access to webinars and chatbot facility. Programs for university students is also has one Compass course, which is of 1 month engagement. For university students, the designing is to be done to track their future, whether they want to work or grow in the field of study or interest of both. Our digital program will help you to make informed choices that are duly evaluated, know your options clearly, and optimize your efforts to achieve long-term and short-term goals. So in this also a psychometric assessment is done, which is widely used worldwide and is done by experts. Then there is a cognitive ability is done in the digression of your psychometric profile, which is done by expert and which will help you to coach you on your needs. Then there is a structured customized counseling, which is to basically help you to deal with the negative situations. And there is time tracker, basically to help you deal with the time and manage it wisely. The track and options template is for university student is actually crafted with a lot of time and effort, since we know that there are so many different options available to you and you might get confused whether to work, whether to pursue masters, and so much. So these tracks will definitely help you in the guidance and will help you to cater for future world. And then there are flexible counseling sessions, which are structured and which will help you with the negative feeling, with your motivation, and chatbot facility and 1 month free access to webinars. For school students, the counseling session, which includes psychometric and cognitive assessment, these are also very research-based and will help you to know your overall performance and which are extremely important as a student. The cognitive ability and environment mapping is basically the assessment which is done by the psychometric test, and this will also be done by expert. Then structured customized counseling will be provided 1 hour with expert. Then there is track and options template, which will be digitally laid out for students. Time track map students' current and optimized time management and weekly report the performance. In the flexible counseling session with mentor of total 2 hour time, basically it's a very unique feature which will have 2 structured sessions for 1 hour each and 8 short 15-minute counseling sessions for course correction, motivation, and for solving negative feelings and situations. Then there is free access to webinars, continuous support, and chatbot facility. This is our landing page. You can download the app from the given link. Next slide. This is the QR code which you can scan to download the app. So there are some pointers that this app is available on Play Store. You can download the app only on Android. The download is free of cost, but programs are paid. App is available in India, Philippines, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Italy, Malaysia, Nepal, Russia, Spain, and Thailand. It will be launched in other countries soon. You can download our app and get help in your career. If you have any queries, these are 2 email ID which you can definitely refer to. The second speaker we have is Miss Vishali Sachdeva. Miss Vishali Sachdeva is an engineer and a business graduate who is currently pursuing masters in psychology at Harvard University. While struggling with her own mental health illness of depression and anxiety, she became aware of the lack of mental health awareness in India. She also experienced a stigma where mental health concerns are brushed under the rug. Her personal experience inspired her to switch her career and to learn about the working of human mind. Today, apart from learning about psychology and mental health, she also promotes awareness around mental well-being through a mental health initiative on Mind and Me. Ma'am, you can take over. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Swasti. I hope you're able to hear me. Could you please confirm?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Thank you, Swasti, for this opportunity. I'm so glad to be here. And I would also like to take a moment and thank Dr. Puri for her wonderful insights on how to manage anxiety during this pandemic. There's a lot that I learned from her, and I'm thankful to her for that. When I think of anxiety, I think irrespective of the anxiety in this pandemic, I think it's important to understand what anxiety is And because that gives you an idea about what you're feeling, what you're going through, what are the thoughts that are running in your head. And to me, I think anxiety is simply a reaction to stress. Let's say, you find yourself in the woods, you're going out for a walk, and there's a snake right there in front of you. Your brain will tell you that this is a situation which is dangerous. You need to be afraid right now, and you need to do something. You can either freeze, you can run away, you can try to protect yourself. But this is a fear reaction that your brain will automatically have the moment you see a snake. And anxiety is a similar reaction, but sometimes what is different is that the anxiety will still exist even when there is no stress. So even when there is no snake around you, you will feel anxious. So anxiety is basically your body's reaction, your brain's reaction to a threatening danger. Sometimes it exists in the presence of a danger, and sometimes it still persists in the absence of one. If you talk about your daily life, you look into your daily life, anytime you had an exam, anytime you've had your first day at a new job, at a new school, at you're going for an interview, all of those places you must have felt anxious. And that is simply what anxiety is. It's also important to know that anxiety is not always bad. There is a good part of anxiety which doesn't get talked about a lot. And that is that, let's say today I was to come for this session, and I was anxious because I'm going to be speaking in front of a lot of people. But that motivated me, that pushed me to work a little harder. So this kind of anxiety is good. Similarly, when you're going for an exam, when you're going for an interview, you are pushed, your anxiety, your nervousness is going to push you. It is going to motivate you to work a little harder. That is the good side of anxiety. But of course, there is a bigger and much more difficult side of anxiety, which is hard to handle. It doesn't mean that there is something wrong with you, which Dr. Puri also alluded to. There's nothing wrong with you. It is just your brain and body's reaction. A lot of times it also helps to understand what anxiety feels like, because anxiety may come in different forms for different people. This little diagram that you can see is one of my favorite illustrations about what anxiety feels like. It's from a wonderful book called Mind Over Mood, which I personally have also done. It's a workbook which helps you with depression and anxiety. It takes you through a lot of worksheets that are basically a self-help book. Now, if you look at this, what anxiety basically is there is a part of you that is feeling something, and that is the mood part of it. The moods, what you could be feeling is, you could be feeling nervous, you could be feeling that you're on edge, you could be anxious, you could be being paranoid, panicky. All of those are the moods that you're feeling. Then there is a physical aspect of anxiety, which is, for most people, it usually comes in the form of sweaty palms. It might be, you're experiencing a very rapid heartbeat. That is a physical reaction. You might feel dizzy, you might feel nauseous. All of that is a physical, the physical aspect of anxiety. Next comes the behavior aspect. When you're feeling anxious, most likely you will try to avoid the situation that is causing the anxiety in you. You'll try to run away, you'll try to leave the situation even before the anxiety begins. You might try to do things that feel safer to you, right? So if, let's say, I'm feeling anxious in this moment, I might just go and have food that is very comforting to me, because I'm trying to run away from the situation which is making me anxious. That is the behavior aspect of anxiety. Next is the thoughts. Basically, that little voice in your head that keeps going, that doesn't stop, is your thoughts. And I need to tell you that this part plays a huge, huge role in your anxiety. You might be telling yourself that I will not be able to handle this situation. Everything is becoming so much, it's becoming overwhelming. You might have a lot of negative thoughts where you're just overthinking to the point that you can't even come out of it. That is the cognitive part of anxiety. So it's important. You can always take a screenshot of this little graph or come back to this video. This always helps me to understand that what I'm feeling right now is basically anxiety. As far as I think it's also important to understand, because not a lot of people are aware of what could be causing anxiety and what are the effects of anxiety. Anxiety is one of the things which is not entirely understood. The science of psychology is still learning in the past few decades. And what we do know is that there are certain genes which may make you more vulnerable to anxiety, but that doesn't mean that if you have that genetic component, you're definitely going to be feeling anxious. It just makes you slightly more vulnerable. Similarly, if you've had early traumas in your life, if you had a very difficult childhood experience, that may also make you more susceptible. What comes next is stress. If you are under a lot of stress, which could be financial stress, it could be stress because of the pandemic, it could be stress from your school, from your relationships, from your work, any kind of stress which either goes on for a long term or is very overwhelming, all of those can make you more susceptible to anxiety. Right now, in this pandemic, it is okay to be anxious. We have this huge stressor on our heads for all more than a year now, which is very, very frightening. Especially for India, we know that the virus is spreading crazily. We know that there are new mutants. We know there are newer strains. We know that the health system is collapsing right now because there are a lack of beds, lack of oxygen, and all of that is worrisome. So it is entirely normal to be anxious. It is entirely okay because that is your brain and your body reacting to this huge stressor, to this huge uncertainty that exists outside. It is out of our control, and that is making us anxious, and that's completely normal. When you're feeling anxious, just like this diagram depicts, you will have anxiety affecting different parts of your life. Your physical health may not feel the best. You may have a lot of headaches. You may feel irritable. You may have body aches. You may have an upset stomach. Uh, you may also see your anxiety spilling over to your work, to your school. You might start missing deadlines. You might not study for your exams. You may not be able to meet expectations. It can also affect your relationships. If you're really anxious, you might just be constantly irritated. You're not talking nicely to your parents. You're not talking nicely to your sibling because there is this huge anxiety that's over your head. And of course, um, anxiety will also come over in different parts of your well-being. So your concentration, your sleep, your physical health, your eating habits, all of those will also get affected. It is important in this pandemic to know that if you're feeling anxious, just try to pin down what is causing the anxiety in you. Are you worried about your own health? Are you worried about your loved ones? Are you worried about not doing good in exams? Are you worried about a job? What is it that is worrying you a lot? Just try to understand that and know that while it is completely okay to be anxious in this pandemic, and I'll come to a few points that you can use to learn to manage the anxiety. It is also important to know that if your anxiety becomes overwhelming, that to the point that it has become unmanageable, where you are now not able to sleep properly, or you're sleeping too much, or you're not eating enough, or you're eating too much, you're not able to let's say focus and concentrate, you're not able to talk properly to people, you're not doing your basics, let's say you stop taking the shower because you're so anxious. If it comes to that point, you need to know that it is becoming overwhelming, and professional help will definitely take you a long way. So just know, whenever anxiety for you becomes unmanageable to the point that it starts affecting your daily functioning, and by daily functioning, again, I mean sleep, appetite, concentration, all of that. If it affects your daily functioning, if it starts affecting your job or your school, so much so that let's say you just stop attending classes, you stop attending online classes because the idea of going to that is making you afraid, is making you anxious, or let's say it start affecting your relationships, that is a point when you know that anxiety is taking the better of you, it's trying to take control of you. And at that point, it is completely okay to go and seek professional help. uh, at this point, a lot of professionals in the field of psychology are offering, pro bono help. They're not charging you. They're just asking you, just, if you reach out to us, we'll be able to help you. They're offering free sessions. Just reach out to those kind of psychologists. If you can afford therapy, just reach out to psychologists and have professional help if you feel you're in need of one. As far as managing anxiety, that is within your control. If it's not become overwhelming right now, and this is something that you think you can manage by yourself, I'm going to walk through some tips and techniques that definitely help with managing your anxiety, especially during this pandemic. Swasti, can we move to the next slide? Yes. The first thing I want you to make sure is that you are taking care of your basic self-care activities. Are you sleeping well? Are you eating well? Are you hydrated enough? Are you moving a little bit? Exercise, which Dr. Puri also alluded to a while back, is really, really helpful. You define what your exercise is, but till the time you're getting 30 to 45 minutes, 4 to 5 times a week. It is very, very important. This could be dance, this could be yoga, this could be jumping around, this could be anything, whatever that is for you. Why? Because there is a huge connection between your physical health and your mental health. You are one body after all. If your physical health is not doing well, your mental health will take a toll. And if your mental health is not doing well, your physical health will take a toll. There is enough science today. There is enough research today that shows that exercise will reduce the stress hormones in your body. So the cortisol, which is basically your stress hormone, will go down if you exercise. Exercise does help you. It helps you distract from negative thoughts and emotions. And the fact that exercise is, again, affecting both your brain and your body is going to take you a long way. So make sure you do whatever it is that you can do. If let's say you were a person who used to go to the gym and right now gyms are closed, or you used to go to the park and right now you can't afford to do that, just find friends that are willing to do, move around a bit with you. Pick up, there are so many videos on YouTube today. Just pick up one of those, get together on a Zoom call and just dance and just move till the time you're getting some exercise. It is also known that exercise will reduce depression in human beings. So exercise has found to make, so when you have antidepressants, which are medications for depression, antidepressants, whatever brain changes they bring about in your brain, exercise does exactly that. So it is not just a treatment, it is also a preventative intervention. It is also preventative care that you can take. So don't just exercise so as to take care of your anxiety. Exercise so that you do not become anxious in the first place. Just move around a little bit. Next thing is engage in relaxing activities. This could be anything for you. This could be gardening for you. This could be reading for you. This could be cooking for you. This could be yoga. This could be meditation. This could be mindfulness. Whatever is important to you, whatever you like doing, whatever takes your mind away from this world. If that just means getting lost in the world of books, do that. Just engage in whatever relaxing activities that you want to. I want to introduce a grounding technique, which is really popular and which is really helpful for anxiety that you can try. It's called the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique. You can quickly Google it and you'll be able to find this. But what that means is you start with 5 things that you see. So whenever you're feeling anxious, hold your 5 fingers and just find 5 things that you can see. This could be, if you're sitting in a room, it could literally be the air conditioner that you see behind my back. It could be a painting on your wall, anything that you see. Just take a moment and observe each of those things that you're seeing. Once you're done with this, go on to focus on 4 things that you can feel. This could be, the air that's coming from the air conditioner. It could be the feeling of the chair that I'm sitting on right now. If you're out in the sun, it could be, just how the sun feels on your skin. So 4 things that you can feel. Next, go on to name 3 things that you can hear. And if you're listening to music, so just focus a while, focus for a few moments on just the music that you're hearing. If you're outside, focus on the birds chirping around you. If you're also outside and you're hearing traffic, just focus on that. Any 3 things that you can hear. Next, go on to 2 things that you can smell around you. This could be, if you're sitting outside, this could be the smell of grass. If you're sitting indoors, maybe there's a perfume that you've put on that you can smell around you. If you can't smell anything, it's okay to just think of smells that feel comforting to you. So maybe the smell of your favorite flower, maybe the smell of your favorite dish, anything that you can think of. And lastly, you want to name 1 thing that you can taste. This could again be something that you've just eaten. It could be something that you are not eating right now, but just like. So you could just imagine the taste of chocolate and how that feels in your mouth. What you're doing essentially in this 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique is you're using each one of your senses. So you're using your sense of sight, your sense of smell, your sense of touch, and all your 5 senses. And what it's essentially doing is it is bringing you back to this moment. What Dr. Puri also talked about, basically coming back to this moment here and now. And grounding technique is one such technique which can really help you. So try to do this. You can do this while you're walking outside, in let's say just, outside in your corridor or even in your room when you're walking. Just try to use this grounding technique whenever you find yourself very anxious. The next thing is setting your boundaries. I think this needs to be said so much. We I feel Indians have never been taught to set those boundaries. We've never been told that it's okay to say no. We've not been told that you can prioritize yourself. Trust me, you can. If right now, you're going on social media and all you're seeing is negative news, it is okay to say no. It is okay to take that break. It is okay to just spend 30 minutes on TV and not spend the entire day where you're just counting numbers and what is the COVID number of cases or the number of deaths right now. Just put that aside. You don't need to do it. Make sure when you're setting a boundary, you're also checking your sources. WhatsApp, all the other platforms have a lot of negative information spreading around right now. Go back to what the WHO, the World Health Organization, or CDC, the Center for Disease Control in America, is saying. Go back to those because those are trusted resources. Once again, when you're also setting your boundary, make sure you're not relying too much on Google. If you're anything like me, you know that even the tiniest skin rash can become cancer. So just make sure that you're not doing any of that. I will skip this part, which is set aside the worry time, because Dr. Puri also mentioned that. Another thing is negative thought management, which is basically checking with your thoughts. If you're feeling a racing heartbeat, you might think that this is a heart attack, but that is a negative thought that your brain has just come up with. Tell yourself this is just a thought. This is not the truth. This is not the fact. What I know is I'm young. This is probably not a heart attack. What I'm feeling is just anxiety. And just question all the thoughts that come into your mind. If you're thinking, when will the world come back to normal? When can I step out? What if somebody in my loved one gets the virus? Just tell yourself that it's okay. These are just thoughts and they can come and they can go. They don't have to necessarily affect me. One more thing that I like is using either a problem or an emotion focused coping. A problem focused coping is where you know you can do something. If this is a problem, somebody in your family gets COVID, find a doctor, find somebody who can arrange for a test. How will you arrange your food? Do all of that. That's a problem focused coping. However, an emotion focused coping is when you cannot do anything. God forbid, let's say there's somebody in your you lose a loved one in your life because of COVID. You cannot do much here. So here you can use your emotion based coping. You do things that control and bring back your emotions and uplift your emotions. So watch Netflix, talk to your loved ones, listen to music, eat foods that are comforting to you, do all of that. Self compassion, be very, very, very gentle towards yourself. Don't be harsh. You're already going through so much in this pandemic. We are going through so much. It's okay to be nervous. Just be very, very kind towards yourself. And lastly, and very importantly, seek professional help. If you think you would need medications, a psychiatrist is the person to go to. If you think you would benefit from therapy, a psychologist is the person to go to. You can have both. You can go to therapy and also take medications. Please, I would like to say here, therapy is not just talking. Therapy will teach you a lot of tools which will come in handy whenever you find yourself in stress. We know that the current situation in India is worsening. We also know that probably numbers are being underreported. Remember that it is okay to prioritize yourself, to take care of yourself. The only safe and affordable thing to do right now is to stay at home, to wear a mask, even when you're meeting your family members. So do all of that. And I hope that you're able to manage the anxiety that you face during this pandemic. Once again, there is nothing wrong with you. If you're feeling anxious, it is completely, completely normal. If you feel it's becoming too much, please seek professional help. And that's it. That's it from my end. Thank you, Swasti.
Thank you so much, ma'am. They were such valuable tips and such valuable insights. And I also want to mention one thing, that since we know that you're based out of USA, so you've made that extra efforts to wake up early, prepare, and your spirit and your motivation to help others is something we really salute as MentorMitr. We are really thankful for you putting up such extra efforts and helping us out.
Thank you so much, Swasti. Thank you.
So now we have the most awaited thing, Q&A. So the first question we have is for Dr. Ashima ma'am, that if you could give us some tips, especially students, to manage anxiety in lockdowns, since they're having online classes, online exams, and this is something which is completely new to them. So they want some tips, especially, centric to students, if you have any.
Well, this is again like something which I have told my students also. We do positive psychology courses, and they will find it really funny. But the best way is start playing this game Tetris. If you've played this game Tetris, you see, thing is when you're playing any kind of a game on the video, your mind is focused there. And then, especially with Tetris, you are only looking at solving any kind of blocks and creating a straight line. So what we learn from there is that look at solutions. Only look at solutions. Now that is one aspect. The second aspect is the first thing in the morning, do three things for gratitude. Gratitude is a very, very important exercise which we all can do and which, we have forgotten actually. It is something I'm sure Dr. Vishali also knows about it. And, because she's from Harvard herself. So I'm really glad that because all this has come to us from Harvard. And here we are using these and we need it. And that the gratitude, three things of gratitude every day in the morning, whether it is about the sleep you have, whether it is about the room you have, it can be about anything, but that will help us to come out of our anxiety and also focus on solutions, focus on how to become better. Problems will never stop, problems will keep coming, but our focus, if our focus is on solutions, then we will become much, much better. So that's what I'd like to tell all the people. Anything else?
Vishali ma'am, anything you want to add?
Thank you, Dr. Puri. I think you wonderfully stated a lot of points. I think I would definitely vouch for the gratitude exercise. Just writing three things, whatever you're grateful for, is really, really helpful. And you can actually experience that change in yourself, in your moods by yourself. You'll be able to experience that. I think as far as studying is concerned, I am also still a student because I'm changing my careers. So, I experienced that too because a lot of my classes had to go online. And I think what helped me was, there's when you have classes online, your life kind of gets disrupted. This is the first time, or maybe it's been a year, but everything is online. You're not meeting your friends. So one, make sure that whoever your friends were or whoever the friends that you're making in your courses, stay in touch with them. Having a strong social support is really helpful. I would also like to introduce a technique here called the Pomodoro Technique, which is really helpful in studying. It's a very, very simple technique where what you do is you study for 25 minutes. Or you can also do this in a job. You work for 25 minutes and then you take a 5-minute gap. This together is called a Pomodoro. So 25 minutes study, a 5-minute break. Then you repeat this. You again study for 25 minutes and take a 5-minute break. You complete 3 such Pomodoros and then you take a longer break of, let's say, 30 to 45 minutes. Do this because the brain is only capable of concentrating for such a small amount of time. If you sit in front of your desk and study for 3 hours, you will not get any outcome. So try this Pomodoro technique. Study for 3 Pomodoros, take a longer break, then study for 3 Pomodoros again. It's really helpful if you start trying, and it gets your day in a very structured format. So yeah, that's what I'd like to say.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just to reinforce on that, even in school, their periods are about 30 to 40 minutes. They're not more than that. So the whole idea is because, the brain capacity is for 30 to 40 minutes. And then 5 minutes. I think it's excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ashima and Vishali ma'am. So the next question is for you, Vishali ma'am, that if you could help us differentiate between anxiety and depression, because most of the people do confuse anxiety with depression. So if you could, just tell us the difference between them.
So I would probably speak from my own experience and from whatever I've studied. But I would also like to hear what Dr. Puri has to say because she's probably seen real life cases in her life. For me, I think anxiety is more worry. Anxiety is more nervousness. When we think of depression has more to do with sadness. So two things that you will find very commonly in depression would be, one, a lot of sadness. And secondly, it would be a lack of interest in things that you always enjoyed to do. So let's say you enjoyed watching TV, you enjoyed reading, you enjoyed eating. you start losing interest in activities that you otherwise felt, good doing. These two, and this is also how they're diagnosed. So both of these things are the major difference that I feel between depression and anxiety, but also know that up to 60 to 70% people who have depression will also have anxiety. Mental illnesses are very, very comorbid with each other. One comes with the other, but extreme sadness, extreme gloominess, and a lack of interest in daily pleasurable activities is what would go on to get categorized as depression. If there is, let's say, sleep problem, eating problem, and all of that with it. And anxiety is more about that feeling of worry, even in the absence of stress. But I would like to hear what Dr. Puri has to say.
No, absolutely, very true. So that's how we also, differentiate between anxiety and depression. Depression is sadness. Sadness is all right. But if the sadness continues, and if it continues for more than 15 days, if the same sadness, if it continues for more than 15 days, then we say that, yes, there is something you need to do about it, to work on it. Otherwise, sadness, like any emotion, is absolutely fine. But staying with that emotion, just thinking of that, and then like the withdrawal symptoms that you're getting, you don't feel like talking to people, you don't feel like moving out, you don't feel like good with your hygienes and all. So if that continues for 15 days, you do need help. But anxiety is basically it's again an emotion, it's a fear. And when you're not looking at the stress, or when you're not looking at the negativity, then it comes in as anxiety. So definitely, I hope that answers everybody.
Definitely, the combined effort with the combined answer was really helpful from both of your side. The next question is from for Dr. Ashima Puri, that they're asking your view on taking tablets or medicines for anxiety. When should we take, or should they take? So they have confusions about medications.
Allopathy medications are there a lot. I do believe, I'm a functional medicine, expert. I mean, I just go into functional medicine, and that is, we believe more in naturopathy. And naturopathic and your nutraceuticals are something which there will be no adverse effects. So with allopathic medicines for anxiety, yes, you see what happens is, like, supposing somebody has a headache, and they will take an anisin or a crocin. But whenever they have a headache, they will, take some form of allopathy. Now, what happens with allopathy is that the need for it becomes more and more with time. So if you're having like 10 grams at one day, the second day will go to 15, and then 100 it can reach to. So, and then it definitely has other adverse effects. But with natural medicines, and like I said earlier also, that the best chemical factory is your mind, but that needs to be stimulated and motivated by not only just a professional counselor, but also, you have the ability and the potential and the healing capacity to come out of it. But it can take a little bit more time, but that's what is, the difference. But any of these nutraceuticals, like we have, I also believe in the flower bark therapy. Then we have nutraceuticals, which we really get into. So before you take on to any allopathic medicine, but if required, if your anxiety or depression is not improving at all, and if it stays for more than 15, 20 days, then also I would recommend, okay, take that medication. And another thing I want to tell each and everybody, if they are onto any medicine, the medicine was made for you. We have this fear that I'll get dependent, I'll get addicted. The medicine is made for you. You are not made for the medicine. But if you are making medicine stronger than you, then that needs to be changed. It's absolutely fine to take medicine. You can leave it if you're feeling very, very anxious or restless or depressed, because like all these chemicals were made, and we have a lot of psychiatric illnesses, and that is because there is an imbalance in your chemicals and hormones. So you need the medicine. And this is one thing which we all need to remember. The medicine was made for you. You are not made for the medicine. And whenever you feel better, you can wean out of it. So don't worry. All right? That's the whole aspect. But if the same problem persists for 2-3 weeks, then it is better to take medication.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was an extremely important myth that we could say, the bit you've like solved about the dependency that was important to address. So thank you for that. The next question we have to Vishali ma'am, and many of them have asked about it, that how can we know the other person have anxiety and what they can do? Like if their friend have anxiety, what to say, what not to say, or how they can help them basically with the friend with the anxiety.
I would love to answer that question, but I would also like to take a moment here. And if there is anybody who feels that they can grow dependent, I am a live case study in front of you. There came a time upon in my life when I was seriously depressed and anxious. I had been diagnosed clinically with depression and generalized anxiety disorder. I did have to take medications because therapy alone was not helping. I took it for 18 months, and it's been, I think, more than a year now that I'm completely off them. And today I cannot be diagnosed for either depression or anxiety. I did not develop any dependence on them. I just followed what my doctor said. I made sure that I was taking my medication and rigorously going to therapy, because medication is literally like a band-aid. It can just, cure what is on the surface, but you need to go inside your brain and figure out, what your mind is telling you. And that's what therapy can help you with. So like Dr. Puri said, allopathic medicine is okay. You will not grow dependent on it. But yeah, just wanted to point that out. As far as trying to figure out if somebody else in your life, your loved one, has anxiety, just try to look out for these signs. See, like we said, it's okay to feel anxious. If they're anxious about the pandemic, or even otherwise, if they're anxious, it's okay. But there are some signs to look out for. If you see a change in their sleeping patterns, a change in their eating patterns, let's say they become completely withdrawn, they're not sitting with you, they're just going away, they're trying to isolate themselves, those are some red flags that you need to look out for. And that would mean that that is a point when they need professional help. But if this is just, a friend feeling anxious and they're coming out to reach out to you, I think the most important thing that you can do is validate them. Please do not dismiss them. Do not say, this is nothing, it's all in your head, you're just overthinking too much, look at all the positive things in your life, or my life is so much worse. Please do not say that. This person is going through a lot, and if they're coming and sharing this with you, you need to create that safe space for them where they can talk about their problems. Create that space for them. Let them know that you're there for them. Ask them. A good way to support is asking them, is there anything that I can help you with? Can I bring you a favorite food? Can I, is there something that I can do for you? Anything. Just give them the opportunity to speak. If this person is still not willing to speak, just sit with them and listen to them and just be with them. But definitely do not dismiss or invalidate or in any way just ignore what they're feeling, because it's really hard for a person who's struggling with anxiety. So just create that safe space where they want to be with you. Yeah.
Anything you want to add, Dr. Ashima Puri, or
No,
any
absolutely.
last note you want for the audience? Anything you want to say?
No, all I want to tell everybody is that these are aspects which you can look into and it can be resolved. Don't feel that you're alone in it. We're all in it together, and it is absolutely all right to get help, because the main aspect is to become free of any kind of an emotional or mental problem, and we all have that. So not to worry, you can come back, and you can bounce back, and you will be fine. So that's it basically. Thank you.
Thank you so much once again, both of you, for providing us with valuable information and knowledge on the subject. Your talk has provided some great learnings and has been an asset for the audience and as for our team. Thank you so much once again, Vishali and Dr. Ashima.
Thank you, Swasti, for having us here, and great to meet you, Vishali.
Thank you, Dr. Puri. Likewise. And Swasti, please make sure that people have Dr. Puri's number. She offered that help. It would be great if you could share that. You can also find me on Instagram. I go by the name Mind in Me, where I share just, a safe space for people to talk about their problems. But yes, thank you for this wonderful opportunity and conversation today, Dr. Puri and Swasti.
No problem, ma'am. So now we're just telling the steps again. Can we have the PPT? So now we've come to an end, and when you see thank you on the screen, there will appear a link to Google attendance form in the chat box. Click to mark your attendance and get the feedback questionnaire email. Fill the questionnaire you get on mail for your details. Follow our page, and if you did and replied in affirmative and actually did not follow our page, you will not get the certificate. If the above stated steps are followed, automatically an e-certificate will be issued online to you. So if you want to get in touch, there is our Instagram handle, Facebook handle, and website, contact us number, and also email, where you can definitely get in touch with us. Thank you for attending.